Hello, this is my makeup submission for the Central Behavior of Business Research study. Hello, my name is Daniel, and today I'll be talking about the article from the Journal of Marketing called the Choosing the Best Spelling, Consumer Behavior to Unconventionally Spelled Brand Names. So this study really looks at how consumers react when brands intentionally misspell their names, such as Lyft instead of Lift or Cool instead of Cool. The researchers wanted to find out whether these kind of spellings made brands seem more unique and trendy, or if they actually turn people away by making the brand appear less trustworthy or sincere. The purpose of this research was really to understand how unconventional spelling affects the consumer's perception and kind of like what they feel about a product or a brand. Marketers often use creative spelling because it can help with trademarking, web domains, and making it more memorable for the consumer. And they're thought to make a brand seem more modern as well. The authors also wanted to test whether consumers see these names as clever or manipulative. In other words, basically, does spelling really change how people feel about the company? So basically, to find the answer to this, they conducted 8 different experiments. The first was a real-world field study where people on a college campus could try one of 2 free seltzers, one called Clear and the other called Clear. Clear spelled C-L-E-A-R, the other one spelled K-L-E-A-R. They were both identical, but people picked the one with the conventional spelling Clear. Basically, kind of saying that normal spelling had a better and more likely chance to be chosen. The next study took place online. Participants were shown real and hypothetical brand names like Earthbox and Earthbox. The first one is U-R-T-H box. The other one is the normal spelling for Earth. And then Cool Cocktails versus Cool Cocktails. One where the word cool is spelled with K, one where the word cool is spelled with a C. Across the board, people prefer the conventionally spelled versions, kind of just backing up what we saw from that previous study. They also test people's thoughts about the names like Daily Gains versus Daily Gains, where it's Daily Gains ending with a S versus Daily Gains ending with a Z. It turns out that unconventional spelling made consumers think the brand was trying too hard to persuade them. So basically, like, they thought the brand was trying too hard. But later studies added different twists. One of the experiments, they were given a memory task to create cognitive load, meaning they were distracted while making decisions. Under these conditions, the negative effect of the misspelled name disappeared. This showed that people only form these negative judgments when they have the mental space to think about the brand's motives. The other experiment tested what happened when the brand's motives seemed genuine. When participants were told that the brand name had been chosen by the consumers, that through a community vote, the negative reaction went away. People saw the brand as more honest and trustworthy. And then lastly, in that final study, they explored whether there were situations where unconventional spellings could actually help. So, for example, they asked participants to imagine being on vacation in Vegas, choosing between a bar called Extra Chilled Lounge or Extra Chilled Lounge, where it was the word extra was E-X-T-R-A versus X-T-R-A, kind of like a play on words. People were told they were looking for a place to grab a drink. The regular spelling won out, but when they were looking for a memorable experience, the misspelled one won out. It kind of showed how in some contexts, creative spelling can actually have a positive impact. Researchers went into these studies with several hypotheses. They predicted that people would generally prefer conventional spellings, then unconventional spellings would be seen as persuasion tactics and lower like received sincerity, basically making the consumer feel that that product is trying to like persuade them or trick them into going to their product. They also predicted that unconventional spelling could become an advantage when consumers were seeking something memorable or novel, like a unique experience. Kind of just wrapped everything up. The results showed that while creative spelling can make a brand stand out more, they often backfired in their own face because those like normal brands and the normal names, it made it seem more normal, more genuine, whereas the misspelling made it seem a little more persuading. The authors were a little bit surprised by how strongly sincerity shaped consumer reactions. Even the small change, like saying the name was community chosen, dramatically improved people's perceptions. They also found that cognitive effort played a big role. So people who only formed negative opinions when they had the time and attention to think about why a brand choose an unusual spelling. Again, to wrap it up, the article shows that even small interest, like language choices, like how a word is spelled, can really impact brand perception. So, while marketers may believe unconventional spelling makes a brand more memorable, well, it may do that. The study also kind of backs up that it can backfire on you because it showed that consumers sometimes are more than likely to choose the normal brand spelling because they think it's less likely to trick them or fool them into buying a product that could potentially not be the best. Companies should think carefully before intentionally breaking spelling rules because those choices can change what consumers remember, but how much trust they have in the brand. And that is it. Thank you.